We hear about the large-scale effects of climate change all the time now. We're hearing reports of flooding, landslides, tsunamis, and the increasing number and strength of hurricanes and tornadoes across the globe. We see footage of polar ice caps melting and glaciers receding, but how is climate change affecting us in our daily lives? In this video series, we look at some of the local effects of climate change here in our own backyard. Today we're going to look at how climate change is impacting our cultural heritage programs.
Here at Westfield Heritage Village in Rockton, we've been doing a maple syrup program for the month of March for about 18 years now. And we're noticing a bit of a trend in that we're getting less snow cover on average during the winter than we used to get. And it does make a difference to the trees and how much sap run you get and how much maple syrup you get over the season. In a maple tree, what makes a maple tree different is it has a lot of sugar in its sap. And that sugar is coming from starch that was stored inside the woody cells of the tree. Now, when that starch is converted to sugar, it creates little bubbles of carbon dioxide in each living woody cell of the tree. So at night, when the sap freezes inside the tree, those bubbles disappear into solution. And the next day, when the tree warms up, the bubbles reappear and create a spike in internal pressure in the tree. And that's what makes maple trees bleed when you drill into them much more than other trees. They've got a very high fluid pressure compared to other trees, and it's because of this carbon dioxide bubbles from all the starch they're converting. Now, if they do this starch conversion gradually over a long time, the internal pressure in the tree stays fairly low and you don't get much sap out of them when you tap them. That's why when you tap a tree on the southern limit of the maple's range, like you can grow maple trees all the way down to Kentucky, Tennessee. You tap those trees in the spring, you hardly get a drop out of them because they're running on a much lower pressure. They've been gradually digesting their starch over a long time. You tap a tree in northern Quebec where they have to do the whole job in 2 weeks and their internal pressure is very, very high. And you get a big sap run and you can make a lot of maple syrup in that situation. So the truth of it is a long spring is a bad thing for maple syrup. You want spring to come on hard and fast, and then the trees will run with a lot of sap in a short period of time, and that lets you harvest efficiently and collect a lot of sap and make a lot of syrup. But it's got to be a spring that comes on fast, like a Quebec spring where you go from 3 feet of snow to black flies in 4 weeks. That's a maple syrup spring. This kind of stuff here where there's no snow cover and you've had thaw cycles from early February right up through the spring, the trees are done most of their work before you even tap them. For the program, our problem is we fix the dates of our program before we know what the winter was like. So in future, what we may have to do is bump our program farther back and start it in the 3rd week of February rather than waiting for the 1st week of March, because our maple sap run's going to start earlier if this trend continues. We're going to have to move to tapping more in towards the middle of February and not wait for March.